right, so we got the full chapter 1048 spoilers, and this chapter is way more hype than what we originally thought it was going to be, so let's just get right into it. So the title of the chapter is 20 Years. Momonosuke keeps pushing Onigashima to avoid Luffy's attack. So going back to the end of the previous chapter, we saw Luffy coming down from the sky with that huge fist on Kaido, which I think we're also getting a name on in this chapter. But he asked Momonosuke, like, hey, make those flame clouds and then move Onigashima because, you know, it's going to get destroyed if it's in the way when I try to punch Kaido. So that's what's happening here. Kaido transforms into a fire dragon. The technique is called Great Flame Fire Dragon or something like that. His body touches Onigashima's horn that was still whole and melts it like butter. Okay, so is this Kaido's awakening? I mean, I don't know for sure. I can't like confirm it myself, obviously, since it's not saying it here and I can't see what it looks like yet. But if there was a Kaido awakening, I guess this could be it, right? Because that's something that we have been waiting for throughout this fight. I mean, especially since Luffy awakened his fruit. Kaido, you know, never really said anything about his own awakening. And considering that this is, I guess, for sure the end of the fight, right? It would have to come sooner or later, and we assume that if anybody had awakened their fruit, it would definitely be Kaido of all people. Especially since he expressed that he has, you know, knowledge on how awakenings work and whatnot. So I guess this kind of has to be it. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe we just never get insight into what his awakening is, or maybe he doesn't have an awakening. I know that sounds weird, but I just don't want to like say for sure that this is his awakening because, you know, people will get angry. Aside from me just straight up saying it in the title at all. Luffy uses an attack called Gomu Gomu no Bajrang Gun. I know I'm saying that wrong, and I'm sorry. But apparently it means monkey god gun. And this could be based on Indian mythology, possibly. Also, guys, please subscribe if you haven't already, because there's no break next week. And if you enjoy my spoiler content, I'm going to be dropping a video as soon as the next chapter spoilers come out next week. So please subscribe for that. Thank you. Kaido uses a new attack called Shoryu Kaien Hake, Ascending Dragon 8 Trigrams Flame. So we have more information on this sequence actually. So right after Kaido transforms into a giant fire dragon and his body melts Onigashima's horn, by the way, it says the full horn because the other horn on Onigashima was cut by Zoro, Kaido opens his mouth and Luffy approaches his giant fist, and there is a big Conqueror Haki's clash. Without touching, Luffy even closes his eyes and puts his other arm in front of his face to shield himself from the shockwave. In the final panel of this fight, before moving on to the part inside of the castle, we see Kaido with his mouth open and Luffy's fist almost touching his teeth. But first, let's talk about today's sponsor, and that's Fandomaniacs. So guys, Fandomaniacs is one of my favorite sponsors because they do a good job and they're really easy to work with. So they're a fun and quirky team who are obsessed in creating things that you are obsessed with. They're the perfect place to find apparel and merch based on your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. And, you know, since this is a battle anime and manga channel, they have tons of battle anime and manga stuff. So I got this amazing Nakama shirt, which is a great finishing piece to the streetwear of the day. I also got this incredible Monster Trio shirt, which on the back, of course, has the Monster Trio. I also grabbed this amazing Jolly Roger hoodie. It has the Jolly Rogers of all of the Straw Hat members. And on the back, it has the Thousand Sunny. So guys, if you want some of this sweet merch for yourself that I promise is gonna look great on you, check the link in the description and also use code ZONE10 for 10% off. Thanks, guys. All right, this is pretty incredible. And this does seem like a big, you know, One Piece ending fight, or just a big Luffy arc ending fight. But, you know, this fight has been subverting expectations and has been going out of the norm, with Luffy losing way more than he normally does, and Kaido clearly being the strongest villain we've ever seen in battle so far. So I don't want to say for sure that this is the ending of the fight, especially what Kaido said earlier about how you don't need devil fruits to rule the world, and Roger was able to do it without a devil fruit, and you just need Haki. So, you know, maybe that has something to do with it. The scene changes to the interior of the castle. There, the samurai want Kaido to be defeated. Kawamatsu remembers what happened after Oden's execution 20 years ago, and a flashback begins. Kaido finds out that Oden has a son, and Kaido goes for Momonosuke and eliminates all the townspeople who stand before him. We see how Oden's castle has burned down. Okay, interesting. So I said that it probably wouldn't be a Kaido flashback and it would probably be a Momonosuke flashback, but it looks like we're kind of getting a cross between the two. But when I said it wouldn't be like a Kaido flashback, I meant more so like, you know, like what we saw of him meeting King, or maybe we'd get more insight into what was going on with him during the Rocks days. The Wano daimyo band together to fight Kaido and Orochi. We see a vignette of each daimyo. They are Tonoyasu and the 3 samurai that Yamato met in the cave, including Shimotsuki Ushimaru. They are all defeated. Okay, so that's super interesting. This guy Shimotsuki Ushimaru is apparently Zoro's dad, but also Admiral Ryokuyu? I know that sounds crazy, but there's like this really compelling theory that's going around that at least makes sense to me. But you know, as expected, they're all defeated, of course. I mean, obviously, we know they didn't win. They start enslaving people, and the country falls apart, referring to Kaido and Orochi. Back to the present, Orochi is still on fire. He tries to take Komurasaki with him. So yeah, this was happening in the previous chapter as well. Denjiro arrives and cuts off Orochi's head. So yeah, we went over this in the previous chapter, and yeah, Denjiro, of all people, has come and hopefully is finishing off Orochi here. He's had like 3 or 4 false deaths at this point, and considering that this is like his last head, assuming this has got to be the end of him, right? Also, I think the last time we saw Denjiro was like chapter 1009, when him and the other scabbards gave Orochi, you know, one of those false deaths, taking down the Hydra heads, but apparently left him with one, which we're seeing here. And you know, the whole thing with Denjiro originally saving Hiyori, looking over her all those years, and you know, transforming into Kyoshiro because he was like a sleeper agent for Oden, just secretly being under Orochi. We see that the wishes of the people are already flying through the sky. May Orochi disappear, or I want to escape from this hell, are some of them. So that's nice, you know, parallels to their wishes like literally coming true through the actions that we see in this chapter. I guess this does mean that Orochi is dead and that Kaido will be defeated in this sequence, possibly. At the end of the chapter, Luffy and Kaido are about to connect their attacks, so we do have more information on this as well. In this case, we see it from afar, and it is as if both attack again with the same techniques, although there is Conqueror Haki Clash like in the first confrontation. Here, they don't get as close. Kaido doesn't even have his mouth open, and the chapter ends with Kaido and Luffy's faces are very similar to the ones at the end of chapter 1047. Okay, so I guess Luffy smiling and Kaido's non-dragon expression face. But yeah, this seems like it's going to be a pretty good chapter, just as good as the other ones have been so far. And you know, like I said, this could be the end of it, right? I mean, it has been going on for so long, especially just Luffy versus Kaido. Like, this fight just in itself has been, I think, over a year long at this point. And considering that we're getting his awakening, or if this isn't his awakening, this just does seem to be the apex of Kaido's power. I mean, if he's holding back even after this, then that's pretty remarkable. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.